Good evening. That's pretty good, right? Yeah. So Mike and I went to business school together, and Aaron, where's Aaron? Aaron's back there. I always say that Aaron and Mike got me through business school, so they continue to do it to this day. So thank you, Mike, for... So I'm going to talk a little bit about Boston Uncornered, maybe give a sense of what it is, what it's about, what's the insight that created it. But first, I want to thank a couple of folks. So Arthur Hurley Company, let's give it up for them. Weil Associates. And then finally, the crew from Rohde Architects. Woo! We expect them to paddle up for a lot of money. That's why we're giving them extra credit. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So I would also like to ask the college-bound staff to stand up and wave your hands. And let's give it up for this amazing crew. All right, now back to work, guys. No, you get the rest of the night off. Not really. And then I'd like to recognize one person in particular, Debbie LaRock. Where's Debbie, who made this evening possible? Oh, there she is, way up there. And I just have to say this, Debbie, you are my LaRock. I couldn't leave that one. Boston Uncornered is an initiative, it's a movement, it's a way forward, but fundamentally it's an insight. And so I want to talk a little bit about the insight, but I want to first talk about the context of how Boston Uncornered came about. And it came about from us at College-Bound Dorchester, I can remember the name of my organization, asking a simple question, which is, can we imagine a Boston where the opportunities are downtown are the same opportunities throughout the city, where Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan produce innovation, investment, just like Kendall Square in the Seaport. Like, can we imagine that? And the truth is, the unfortunate truth is, that most of us can't do that, right? It's very hard to imagine that. It's very hard to think, can we address all those major challenges of our inner city neighborhoods? Poverty, right? Violence. In fact, the lifespan in some neighborhoods is 20 years less than the average lifespan in the rest of the city. So it's just this huge thing that it's really hard to think about. How do we change that? And that's where Boston Uncornered, in this kind of simple insight, has an answer. Because the reason why we can't do that is because when most of us think of the inner city, we don't understand the environment. We think of this area where 30% of our city is kind of in shambles, is broken. But the truth is that that's not true. The truth is that the vast majority of people in those communities, the vast majority of places are striving, are successful, are working hard. In fact, it's a very small, highly disruptive, but minuscule and geographically condensed group that's causing a lot of the problems in the inner city. And you guys have heard me say this probably, but there's two data points that I love that sort of show this best. The first one is that, and the commissioner knows these, 1% of the population is responsible for 50% of all homicides in our city. 1%. And 5% of our city corners are home to 75% of violent crime. Just think about that. Incredibly concentrated, both geographically in terms of people. And so the insight of Boston Uncornered is that these young men and women that they not only are causing the problems, but therefore they are the solution. They are the solution. And it's almost impossible for us to see that. But if we do, you unlock the potential not only of those individuals, but of the communities as a whole. And so I want you to hold on to that idea that those guys, that Antonio, that frankly, if we met Antonio on the street, and don't lie, you would walk across the street, you would be afraid of him, you would say he's too far gone, you would say he's not worth it, that those guys are the ones that can end generational urban poverty. And if we believe that, we believe that anything is possible. And so Boston Uncornered will prove that when gang members change their lives, communities change. And what we know at College Bound is when you walk towards young gang-affiliated men and women with the belief of their genius and ability in your eyes, with the real belief, not some BS kind of, I want you to succeed, but if you believe in their genius and you provide them a path to a different life, and you give them the opportunity to make positive choices, if you do those things, they not only react, they excel, the community notices, and it changes for the better. So these are the guys that have the means. So I was going to end there, but I created a hashtag for this initiative. I see Janella over there. So this is a hashtag that my sons, Oliver and Julius, say is way too long and is a terrible hashtag. But can I share it with you guys here? Okay. So it is hashtag gangsters are the new Gandhi. See, Ollie? Now I will say, if you don't know what a hashtag is, talk to somebody much younger than you and they'll tell you what it is, okay? But it's this idea, it's really this idea that they are the solution. They're not the problem, they're not somebody who's gonna get out of it. We're not gonna do anything. We are not gonna do anything, but they can. And so tonight, what I'm asking each of us to do is similar to what Mike asked, is let's work on changing our belief. Let's work on uncornering our own minds about who it is that can change this country, who it is that can free our neighborhoods, who it is that can realize a fully functioning, vibrant Boston. And it's the guys in this room, and it's the guys in Boston Uncornered. So let's give it up for them. Belief is important, but without people doing the work, belief isn't enough. And so you need folks on the ground, folks like Francisco, who are known and trusted by the young folks that are hanging on the corners. Francisco is one of our college readiness advisors. What they do is they walk towards those young people. They walk with them from the corner to college to community change. I've known Francisco. He's made it, he's now Francisco. I've known Francisco for years. I love Francisco. He's an amazing man, amazing person, and I'm very fortunate to call him a friend. So let's welcome Francisco DePina onto the stage.